All right. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. Oh my gosh. What a great day it is, guys. Rockfin has upped the game. Um, tr- trying to be live on Rockfin. I don't know what's going on though. Let's see. Can you guys see me on Rockfin? Well, Rockfin upped the game, allowing for early chats. Hold on, what's going on here? I don't know what happened. Ah, no, 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 Rockfin, no. Okay, well, I'm on how to go. Should be. Okay. Hold on. We're waiting for the stream to get in. I'm trying to figure out. They switched things up on Rockfin, my friends. And yes, we are live on Rockfin. Cool. So now they are allowing for an early chat situation on Rockfin where they're allowing for an early chat situation, but for some reason the stream keeps cutting off. I don't know why. I can't see it. Can everybody on Rockfin just tell me if I'm still broadcasting? Because it says that I'm off. Sorry, guys. Apologize. Just trying to figure out some technical issues while I'm live, which is always the thing that I really enjoy doing. Always, always. Anyways, so Rockfin is allowing for the stream to be set up early so that people can watch. Okay, cool. We're on. Everybody's good. Okay, I just cannot see my own stream. I can't see my own stream, so that's weird. But I'll just continue on as if everything is okay. All right, so listen. Rockfin changed the game. I can set up my stream early. People can get into Rockfin early on the chats and have a chat just like you can do on YouTube. That is pretty awesome. So please come hang out with me on Rockfin. We've got 9 people watching. We've got people in the chats. Guau Mashi, Laura Neufeld, Urban Hermit, Kevin Shanholzer, Poppy Davis, Ryan Gorman, Osama number 5. We are all together here on Rockfin, guys, and there are plenty of people on the YouTube chats as well. Hello, all the people on the YouTube chats. All right. Yeah. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected, and we are discussing climate change news. Oh, the day. Oh, the day. And secondly, let's see. All right, we can see this. Everybody can see this. Everybody let me know. All right. Getting into this tweet from Scott Duncan about some very cold, very cold temperatures coming to the Europe and the U.S. Can you say polar vortex? Europe says, I'm cold, and the USA says, hold my beer. Check this out. Whoa. Down to negative 20 C or minus 4 Fahrenheit, all the way down to the top of Texas. Ooh wee, that is cold. That is freaking cold. And a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm cold. You know? Again, this has been a situation that's just kind of happening every single winter now. Every single winter is like polar vortex madness. Ken Greenfield, you are there as well, and also single digits in Finger Lakes, Basil Peterson. Poppy Davis it is incredibly cold, and we don't know how to deal. Kevin, yeah, yesterday, I showed the big old pileup on Interstate 35 in Texas, and man, I was watching more footage of it yesterday, and that was really pretty horrible to watch. Rich Diana, that looks like a drunken jet stream. Indeed. If you wonder why that's happening, it's because the jet stream is broken. We broke it. We, the humans, broke the jet stream. Dallas is supposed to get down to 0 on Monday. Good God. Negative 50 C overnight in Alberta, Canada. Youch. These are Rockfin comments, by the way. Anyways, thanks for hanging out with me today. Even though it is a cold one out there for many. Let's move on. I got this from Slow News Day. If you guys are familiar, anybody familiar with Slow News Day? The mainstream media is not covering this gas leak, is what they say. Have you guys seen any coverage of this? Huntersville leaders get update from Colonial pipeline on massive gasoline leak. This is happening in North Carolina, Huntersville, North Carolina. And what is the date on this? The date is February 1st. So a couple weeks ago, Monday night, town leaders in Huntersville got an important update on a massive gas leak. Channel 9 has reported the spill disrupted the ecosystem around the neighborhood and nature preserve. It happened along Huntersville Concord Road last summer. Last week, Channel 9 learned more than 1 million gallons of gas leaked, which is almost 18 times more than the first numbers reported. 18 times more. The pipeline carries jet fuel, and you know how much fun jet fuel is, and gasoline for cars up from the Gulf to the East Coast. But it spilled in the Oler National Preserve. I guess it's called Oler or Oler National Preserve from a crack in the pipeline. In August, the company estimated 63,000 gallons spilled. A month later, that number jumped to an estimated 273,000 gallons. In November, Colonial Pipeline reported 345,000 gallons released. Now, they're like, it's way worse than that. Now, in a new report filed to the DEQ, Colonial said 1.2 million gallons of gasoline leaked underground. Just 1.2 million gallons. That's all. Officials estimate crews will be in the area for years cleaning up the mess. There are about 50 workers at the site each day. As of Monday morning, Colonial said it had recovered more than 663,000 gallons of gasoline so far, and they have not found petroleum in any well water after tests in a 1,500-foot radius of the spill. I guess that's good. Well, they're the ones doing the tests, so do we believe them? I guess we have to, right? Is anybody else doing the tests? Is the Colonial Pipeline people, they're the only ones testing their own problem? I wonder how good these tests are. The company still doesn't know what caused the crack. We don't know. Officials are analyzing that portion of the pipeline in a lab with lab coats on and goggles. We're looking at it really hard. Despite the negative tests, neighbors are still concerned about their well water and their property values. Yeah, they should be concerned. Do you have any questions? Refer to the official story. Neighbors. Neighbors. If you have any questions, refer to the fact checkers on your local YouTube channel, Twitter feed, Facebook post, Wikipedia post. If you have questions, refer to the fact checkers. Got it? Good. Louis Appets, it's always worse than they say, isn't it though? Isn't it though? Please like up the video, guys. I'm talking to you, YouTubes. Please like up the video, guys. I'm talking to you, Rockfins. If you can. Urban Hermit says jet fuel can melt buildings. I like that one. I was like, very good. Touche. That's right. I forgot. Jet fuel can melt steel. I forgot about that one. That's good. Oh my. This tweeted out from Extinction Rebellion. If you work for an oil like ExxonMobil, you are on the dark side, complicit in atrocities. Absolument. But there is another way. Search your feelings. They're making a lot of Star Wars references in this. I like it. There's another way. Search your feelings, as Dar Long Chang did. Hashtag Star Wars. Let's look at this just quickly. A disillusioned ExxonMobil engineer quits to take action on climate change and stop making the world worse. I wonder how soon it'll be until he's deplatformed, in jail, censored. After 16 years of working for the oil giant, Darlon Chang said Exxon would not address climate change, so he quit the sector for good and began a new low-carbon life. Good job. Good deal, Darlong. From his base at Exxon's sprawling campus outside Houston, Chang helped the company maximize production at far-flung oil and gas projects from Guyana to Qatar to America's fracking fields. He's had an interest in alternative energy since his college days and thought science and technology would blaze a path towards a future without fossil fuels. Exxon, he believed, could help lead the way. When he could, Chang tried to nudge the company along in small ways, holding out hope that change would come. Because, you know, changing things from the inside is always effective, as in not at all. But with each passing year, Chang watched the climate crisis grow more urgent, while the company he had devoted his career to only deepened its commitment to oil and gas. Eventually, he became disillusioned. Oh no. Whatever shall he do? You don't want people being disillusioned or depressed. You don't want people, you know, feeling too doomy about climate change. That's what you don't want. In 2019, without any prospect of future employment, he resigned, packed up with his wife and daughter, who had known no home other than Houston, and moved to a net zero community outside Denver, built around environmentally conscious living. That sounds delightful. He had hoped to find a job in the renewable energy sector, but meanwhile, he poured himself into his new Geo's neighborhood, where residents hold monthly meetings to discuss how to lighten their load on the planet. Guys, do you know about this Geo's neighborhood? Do you think we could, you think you could set up a Geo's neighborhood in your neighborhood? Do you think this could be the way of the future? People moving out of industrial civilization or large cities into communities who are living off the land and or living with a much lighter carbon footprint? A small herd of goats graze on undeveloped lots, the community's fossil-free answer to weed control. A blue Nissan Leaf and a black Tesla Model 3 sit side by side in his garage, plugged into chargers fed by solar panels on his roof. I didn't want the rest of my career to be wasted on something that I felt was making the world worse when there was all the possibility to make things better, he said recently. Chang belongs to a generation of engineers, environmental scientists, and computer developers who entered the fossil fuel sector just as the world was waking up to the grave threat posed by their industry's products. Oh. Kind of the same way that soldiers become disillusioned with the military when they join the military and they go to war and then they're like, this is all a bunch of bullshit. While oil companies are already under pressure from investors, governments, and society at large, Chang's story reflects another emerging challenge for the industry, a younger generation of workers who are worried about climate change and their own role in determining what kind of future their children will inherit. I don't know. Should we check in with Michael Mann and see if this is an acceptable amount of disillusionment? Or doomism? Is this good action or bad action? I wonder. Maybe we should check with Michael Mann, since he seems to be the expert on what's the acceptable level of disillusionment. Depression. We as an industry underestimate the intense pressure that oil and gas employees are under, said Tisha Schuler, founding principal at the Adamantine Energy and the former head of the Colorado Oil and Gas Association. Schuler has argued that the industry needs to engage with its growing workforce of millennials, who she noted are more likely to be concerned about climate change and are facing peer pressure over their work. Peer pressure, you say? I feel confident that more than half of the millennials working in the oil and gas industry are interested in seeing our industry take on an assertive, solution-oriented role. Like, what would they do? What could they possibly do other than shut the doors? How about saying we were all wrong? We really screwed the pooch on this one. We got to shut it down, guys. We're gonna take all our profits and invest it into helping people live while they transition into a lifestyle in which they live in harmony and balance with the earth. A low carbon footprint lifestyle, a low technology lifestyle, maybe wind back the clock a little bit. Would they possibly do that? Or are they going to fund more space missions? I wonder. While the company's finances, Exxon has become the corporate embodiment of the industry's intransigence. It has remained committed to a future of expanding oil and gas production and was the last of the major multinational oil companies to adopt corporate-wide emissions reduction targets, announcing the pledge only in December. While the company's finances have crumbled in recent years, it remains, by some metrics, the largest of the Western investor-owned oil companies. There is no evidence of any formal movement within Exxon's ranks agitating for change. Inside Climate News spoke with people who have worked at Exxon who expressed views similar to Chang's. One worker who asked not to be named because she was not authorized to speak to the media. Be very afraid of speaking out against the industry you actually work for. Described a generational schism, saying she guessed that most employees under the age of 50 thought climate change was a serious issue. She recently left the company. Another former employee, Enrique Rosero, has said in interviews that he left Exxon last year after being punished for speaking out about climate change. Well, golly, I wonder why there aren't people inside the company agitating for change. I wonder why. Let me think. Hold on. Let me think about that for a second. Could it be someone was punished for speaking out about climate change? Exxon spokesman Casey Norton, responding to questions about the company's attitude towards employees who push for more aggressive action on climate change, he said, "We encourage an open dialogue and employees can share their ideas with their supervisors, human resources, and colleagues. And then they will be punished if they speak out loud." Alrighty. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's kind of long, but I think you get the picture. But how about more of those geos neighborhoods? What do you think about that, guys? How about if a whole lot of people all at once decide we're not going to use any more oil, and they absolutely gut the oil industry? How about that? That would be awesome. That might have to depend on people who actually cared about the planet, their lives, the future of their children, etc. Nazmanab says the U.S. would kill 3,000 of its own citizens to get cheap oil. Ooh. Ooh. Dang, nicely done, Nazmanabs. Way to go. Way to go. Andy the Gardener says the 9/11 conspiracy theory is a crock of shit. What? Okay. What do you mean? The actual the establishment narrative on 9/11 is a crock of shit? Because that's actually what is the crock of shit. Because if you actually look at that and have any kind of scientific knowledge in your brain at all and look at that and go, yeah, that totally happened, then, I mean, have fun with that. Have fun with that. Anyways, yeah, we'll leave that subject there. But I actually will be talking a little bit more about that on Rockfin at noon in my neo-realism broadcast. We will have a little more discussion about that. Yeah. But they're counting on you to be, just like anything else. The powers that be count on, huge amounts of people being dumb about things or not really being informed about things. And that's the way that they can do anything that they want to. Because if you're just uninformed or barely informed, or like, oh, I think I saw an article about that. I don't know how I feel. They're counting on you not paying attention. I think somebody posted a tweet a couple days ago. It was, it was like, what's her name? What is her name? Susan Cooper? I want to say. I don't know if that's her name. The lady that does the Trump mocking videos, which some people find very hilarious. Anyways, I don't think that's her name. Sarah Cooper, I think is her name. Anyways, right, Osama, exactly. She was like, no, anyways, let me get to this story. Sarah Cooper tweeted out, gosh, I haven't read the new, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who is the Secretary of Defense. Like, I don't know what's going on in politics, and I love it. I'm like, what? What? You don't know who the Secretary of Defense is or who is running what agency? You don't know who's doing what, and you love it. You don't want to care because I guess the message is like, well, there's a Democrat in office, and so they're all doing good things, and they're all just doing great, and so I don't need to pay attention to it. That's the idea. Okay. And that's how Obama started 5 new wars while nobody was looking. Everybody was like, We're in 5 new wars. Well, they must be just wars. They must be, necessary because, Obama's a Democrat. And so, whatever he's doing, it's fine. we got into 2 major wars when Bush was in office, and everybody everybody was like, what the hell is going on? Obama was like, how about 5? And everybody was like, man, I love just going to brunch and not paying attention to the news. It's just an awesome day. It's another awesome day. I love when people are getting droned to death. And I don't have to be concerned about it because my president is a Democrat. My president is a Democrat, not a Republican, and they're bad. Only Republicans do bad things because I am a smart person. Anyways, that's just the state of politics. Andy the Gardener, you didn't win shit, Andy the Gardener. You didn't win anything, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know physics, and you don't know science. So you didn't win. Okay. I don't need to ban you, but like you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You have no concept of physics or how things work, okay? You absolutely don't know. So you can continue being stupid on your own time. I mean, if you want to be stupid here, that's fine. I'll just tell you you're stupid. So, whatever. But, have fun with that. Have fun with that. That's the thing is that, they rely on a whole bunch of people, believing magical fairy tale physics in order to, brainwash you. And it totally works. See, we have Andy the Gardener proving that it totally works. Somebody who supposedly believes science doesn't know how science works. It's awesome. It's awesome. Anyways, let's move on to Go Green. The world needs more plastic, says ExxonMobil, Shell, Saudi Aramco, ramping up output of plastic, which is made from oil. We read this article, I believe, because this was put out last year. But yeah, more, while the whole entire planet, while the whole entire planet, Andy, you didn't explain it and you didn't explain it correctly. So drop it. No, Andy, look, man, you can just, I'm right. That is all. Okay. You're not right. You didn't win. You lost the argument. Everybody here actually doesn't even agree with you. So you're outnumbered on top of that. It's kind of like climate change, right? Like 1,000 scientists agree that climate change is happening, and 3 are like, no, but no. You're Andy. You're a climate denier, but you're just applying climate denialism to physics regarding 9/11. So you don't know. It's like, I believe science over here, but I don't believe it over here. I just, Anyways, whatever. Okay, Andy. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Have fun. Have fun with that. Yeah. I mean, it's just unfortunate. Super unfortunate that people believe. Okay, let's get into the story that I wanted to cover today. This is hilarious. Super, super, super funny. NASA, this is from February 2nd. NASA will pay $500,000, a lot of money. I guess somebody needs that money. $500,000 to whoever can figure out how to grow fresh food in space. I love this picture. This is like the best picture. Russian cosmonaut Alexei Ovchinin holds a watermelon. Being an astronaut sounds really stressful. You have to fly the spacecraft straight so you don't run into space junk. You have to make sure a hostile alien doesn't burst through your torso. Yeah, and you have to eat all kinds of weird freeze-dried meals. Turns out those boring space meals take a toll, which is why NASA is prepared to dish out up to $500,000 for a good idea that might allow astronauts to cultivate and eat fresh food in space during long-term space missions. UPI reports that NASA and the Canadian Space Agency have teamed up for the Deep Space Food Challenge, during which participants can win prize money. What was that movie with... I can't even remember the name of the movie or the name of the actor that was in it. Anyways, total blank. I can't even remember anything about this movie. But it was about a guy that goes to Mars and he figures out how to grow food on Mars. I think you guys know what movie I'm talking about. Because he gets stranded on Mars and he has to figure out how to feed himself. So somehow he figures out how to grow food. It's a movie, though. Anyways, if you want to earn $500,000, you can figure out how to grow food in space. Before you get too excited, remember that any given spacecraft will have a minimal resources, space, and utilities to prepare a tasty meal. Astronauts also don't have a lot of time to grow or prepare their own food. Finally, NASA has tried and failed to cultivate food in space several times, including greens, radishes, and various nutrients grown with yeast. Think you're up to the task? Maybe you can figure out how to grow food in space. I know how to grow food in space. You walk outside, you put some seeds in dirt, and you grow food. And you might say, well, that's how you grow food on Earth. Well, yeah, we're in space. We already live in space. We are already on a spaceship that we are mistreating badly. We already have a place in which we can grow food in space, right? We already have this magical place where we can grow food and keep ourselves alive. It's called the planet Earth. So maybe we should figure out how to not destroy that part before we figure out how to grow food in space. You know what I'm saying? Andy the Gardener, architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth. Go to the website and just go look at it. Or eat your degree, your architecture degree, because it's not worth anything. But that's cool. I mean, I've talked to engineers who don't understand physics. So, I mean, if you're an engineer that doesn't understand physics, what's your degree worth? You know, you can't even really eat it because it's not worth anything. Okie doke. Anyways, funny. Where will the water come from? Judy Truitt says. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Yes, Matt Damon. That's who I was trying to think of. Sorry, that happens every time I talk about movies. I'm like, what was the movie with the guy, the thing, where they were doing the things? Like, I never remember what it is. Yes, The Martian. And somehow he figures out how to grow food on Mars. Splendid says, bring Andy on and allow him to rebut. Yeah, but the thing is that, I don't know what good that would do. If you look at a controlled demolition and you put a video of a controlled this is just very simple. I'm not even really going that deep into it. Put a video up of a controlled demolition next to the towers collapsing. When something looks like a controlled demolition, that's because it is. The end. The end. The end. So there isn't really nothing to debate. It's just like, I wouldn't bring a climate denier on my channel to debate because there's nothing to debate. It's just ridiculous. There's overwhelming evidence. Overwhelming. Yeah, Rich Diana, Kevin, pistols at 10 paces. Overwhelming evidence in the face of not a lot of evidence. Anyways, this has been loads of fun. It's a fun show today. Valhalla56 says Matt Damon recycles his own waste and poop as fertilizer. The problem is Martian dirt is sterile. It is called regolith, and it doesn't matter how much you poop on it. The Martian dirt, it isn't going to work. I didn't know that. Thank you for that insight, Valhal. I didn't know that. Yeah, splendid. Hold on though. Hold on. Do you I'm not yelling at people. I'm just saying you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Sorry. You're wrong. Is there a point to arguing if climate change is true or not? I mean, this channel is about climate change. Overwhelming evidence is that climate change is real every single day, all day long. You know, there's a mountain of evidence that climate change is real and very, very little evidence that it is not. Very weak, very flaccid. And so there's not really a point in debating it because the evidence is overwhelming. The dude says it wasn't Martian dirt in the book. They brought it with them. Yeah. I got him. Yeah, if you believe, listen, splendid. If you believe that things, if you don't understand physics and you think that you do, then you're stupid. Sorry. If you I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. If you willingly don't understand something that should be easily understood, then you're not really all that bright. And I'm sorry to say that. Andy the Gardener is a longtime watcher of the show, but not very bright on the point of physics. So I mean, you can argue for Andy all you want, splendid, whatever. I don't really care. I don't care because this is a dumb debate. Yeah, okay. Right, Wikipedia said 9/11 is not true, so that's totally the reason to believe it. Again, further concreting the idea of stupidity. Because if you're like, I only believe the fact checkers and the Wikipedia and fact checkers and Snopes. I only believe the establishment story. If they say it's right, then it must be right. Like, come on now. Come on. No, they don't. Actually, anyways, whatever. This is fun. Or not fun. I'm not going to argue this. Hey, hi. How's it going, Rockfin? We've got 13 people watching on Rockfin. Good hanging out with you guys. I see lots of comments. Let me see. I'm going to read a couple comments and I'm going to have to go. Kevin Chanholter says Mars needs an atmosphere and soil with microorganisms. Just planting seeds won't work. There's no pollinators. That's true too, yeah. Urban Hermit says fertilize potatoes with your own poop. You guys are giving me the Martian rundown. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. I didn't really intend for this video to go down that rabbit hole at quite this time, but whatever. Actually, though, if you want to talk about it on Rockfin in about 20 minutes, I'm going to be on Rockfin in about 20 minutes talking about other things, but, you know. Splendid says, I don't opine either way. I'm open to discussion. That's fine. Oh, that's cool. That's fine. The reason why I feel very strongly about this is the last thing I'll say. The reason why I feel strongly about this is because this is this is like a mass hallucination that a lot of people agree to engage in. And that mass hallucination is used to really, really mess people up. Like really mess people up, mess their minds up and mess the planet up and mess the world up and mess the people that are in control are really invested in people believing this thing. And so it's super dangerous to believe the official story is super dangerous to everybody that lives on this planet. And so that is why I'm very, very adamant about this. So yeah, there's lots of things that I have an open mind about, but not that. Not climate change and not that. Not climate change and not that, because I understand physics and science. And I don't understand it when it's convenient for me to understand it, and then not understand it when it's convenient for me to understand it. I understand it always. And I don't need a degree to tell me that I don't understand it or understand it. I just, mostly what it's about is there is a mountain of evidence pointing to the fact that the 9/11 thing is a crock of shit. Mountain. Just like the mountain of evidence that, like, one bullet didn't kill JFK, right? If you believe one bullet killed JFK, you're a moron. You're a fucking moron. But that's the official story. There's a mountain of evidence saying, like, there's no way this could have happened. And there's very little evidence that says this could possibly happen. And it's the same with 9/11. Very little evidence that this is actually possible in any physical realm of the planet. Mountains of evidence that this was really a hinky thing, right? Mountains of coincidences, right? There's like 3,000 coincidences. Oh, coincidentally, this happened too. And coincidentally, this happened too. And this is the only time that a steel building ever burned to the ground and fell down on its own power in one day, in a couple hours. That's the only time in the history of the planet. So if you believe that only happened on this one day, coincidentally, it happened on this one day, again, you're a moron. So, Andy the Gardener, you are a moron. You win. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow.